Hello students, welcome to ShailajaIAS and welcome to the PYQ Decoder course. This is Subhash. Today we are continuing with the class 5 of the Geography PYQ decoding session. This PYQ decoder, I hope it is helpful to find the proper themes that you should be able to focus and how to crack 2026 prelims. So now in this class 5, we have come up with another theme of geography where many questions have been asked. So we'll see which is the important theme that is asked in UPSC every year. It is with respect to world mapping, regional geography mapping. So we already know mapping is an important part in geography. You have Indian mapping, okay, Indian geography. It can be physical geography, physical places, right? Important rivers, forests, okay? Important places in news, human geography, industrial geography, industries, minerals, resources. Same thing you have to do with world mapping with respect to world geography and regional geography. My friends, every year 1-2 questions. It can be, you can say IR also, or it is geography linked to international places that are in news. Okay, it can be due to conflict, it can be due to any new environmental effect happening on those regions. It can be just world geography, okay, resources, industrial location, okay. All these are syllabus points of UPSC mains where 1-2 questions show up with respect to world mapping and regional geography around the world. So borders, locations, regional terminologies are asked time and again in UPSC. So we'll see the themes linked with geographical concepts. In 2025, global time zones. You know, longitudes. We have 180-degree east and 180-degree west. So we have a 24-hour time zone where half of it is one day before and half of the time zone is one day later. So you have international date line, right? International date line also. Based on that, question has been asked. Consider the following countries: UK, Denmark, New Zealand. Okay, and you have time zones also. Right, based on the longitudes. So, based on the longitudes, you have the time zones: UK, Denmark, New Zealand, Australia, Brazil. How many of the above countries have more than 4 time zones? This is slightly ambiguous, UPSC. Don't know whether UPSC is considered only mainland or all the islands that the country possesses and associate regions. But in a standard definition, if you take, when you say time zone of a country, it includes all its island regions, associated region of a country. So if you take that, UK, Denmark, New Zealand, Australia, Brazil. If you see Britain, it's a very small island country. But if you see its overseas bases, associated regions, then UK has 9 time zones. So UK has more than 4 zones. Denmark also, okay. Denmark is in news. Greenland issue, okay. Then New Zealand also has more than 4 time zone. Australia also has more than 4 time zone. However, Brazil has exactly 4 time zone. So 4 out of the 5 countries here has more than 4 time zones. UK 9, Denmark 5, Australia 9, New Zealand 5. So all these 4 countries have more than 4 time zone due to overseas territory and longitudinal span of this country. Brazil has only 4 time zones with respect to mainland as well as islands. So here ambiguity should have given mentioned country with the associated territories and islands. Then the answer or the ambiguity would have been gone. However, if you consider standard, no, UK, Denmark, New Zealand and Australia, including its island and associated territories, you have more than 4 time zones. Here are the answer given. So only 4 is the correct statement here. Asked in 2025, my friends. But know the theme, okay? Question might be a bit ambiguous 1 year, okay? Sometime you might drop also, that doesn't matter. But the themes linked to the geographical concepts become very important. Next, international dateline. So, same thing, based on longitudinal and international date, international timeline, the time zones question has been asked. Anadyr, which is in Siberia, and Nome in Alaska. Okay, Siberia is in east. Okay, you know Japan, right? In the east, we have a day earlier, and in the west, you have day later. Nome, Alaska, okay, which is USA. Russia sold it to USA, are a few kilometers apart, but when people are waking up and getting set for breakfast in the cities, it would be different days. That we know because of international dateline separating the eastern Siberia and the western Alaska. Here it is 1 day early. Here it is 1 day late. If it is Wednesday here, for example, it will be Tuesday here. If it is Monday here, it will be Sunday here. So this is a geographical concept which we know. When it is Monday in Anadyr, that is Monday here, it should be still Sunday here. It is Tuesday in Nome. Is it Tuesday? He has given Ulta. Okay, if it is Monday in Anadyr, in Alaska Nome, it will be Sunday, not Tuesday. If it is Tuesday here, it will be Monday here. So yes, twist. So UPSC ka favorite trap of twisting. Checking your conceptual clarity. If it is Monday here, then in Alaska it will be Sunday in Nome, not Tuesday. So only one statement is correct, second statement is wrong. I hope ideal, the time zones, latitudes, longitudes, you have clear conceptual clarity. If you have that, you will be able to answer easily. Again asked in 2025, my friends. Two questions came directly from global time zones. Okay, and based on that, places in news is connecting with geographical, okay, concepts. Again, with international dateline is mapping the important, okay, dateline division and how date change happens. Now, with respect to world geography mapping, regional mapping, okay, mountain systems, mountain ranges of world, volcanic hotspots, okay, any environmental region, for example, global hotspots, okay, all this can be mapped in regional mapping. These are just a few examples. So make sure you go in this direction and make your notes, okay, make important points in your notes and revise those. Here he asked with respect to Andes, okay. Andes is in South America, okay, and which are the mountain systems that are in North America? That continues, okay, let me know. Andes are in the western region or the border of the South America, right? Passes through how many of the following countries? If you know roughly where Andes is going and which are the regions that are coming, you will be able to answer. However, you have to map it. Mapping is very important. 1-2 questions directly coming. 2025, 3 questions came in this theme. Bolivia, Brazil, is it Brazil? No. Colombia, Equator, is it Paraguay? Paraguay again is in eastern region. Andes will go through western and the northern region of South America. Not Paraguay, Venezuela, yes. So, Bolivia, Colombia, Ecuador, Venezuela, 4 out of 6. See, as I told in the previous class, if he has given 6, normally UPSC, okay, will give 4. If it is 5, 3. But always go with knowledge. Then you use this trick, which is a blind guess, unless you know properly having knowledge, you can't answer. However, if you are having no other option and have to attend this question without knowledge, then you can apply this. Normally UPSC 5 statements, it's giving 3 right, it can be 4 also. If it is giving 6, it is 4 right. If you attend like these statements 3 or 4 questions, 2 might be 6, 4 will be the right, another 2 question might be different options. So it is a risk you are taking. So it's a probability out of 4 this kind of questions. If you answer 2 right and 2 wrong, still you are getting net 1 question right, 1 and some 1.3 question right. Rest of the 2 question wrong will take away the negative. However, if you are attending after 85-90 question, and if you want to attend this kind of statements question and you don't know anything also, you can take that wild guess. However, you will get 50% of the question right also, you will be net positive. So that's a technique you can use, probability, after you have crossed the prelims cutoff line. These are all the things which you learn from experience, attending UPSC, understanding marks, understanding your strength areas, that you have to do on your own. So these themes will help you to focus and go with the knowledge first. Here only 4. The Andes run through the western region of the South America and the northern Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, western and the northern side, Bolivia, Chile and Argentina. Brazil and Paraguay are the lowland plateau countries where Andes will not come. So Brazil, Paraguay will not come. 4 out of 6 are correct here. So only 4. Next, again with respect to global mapping, again asked in 2025, 4th question, sir. Through how many of the following does the equator pass? One of the favorite, Tropic of Cancer passes through which of the region? Tropic of Capricorn passes through which of the region? Important lakes, global lakes linked with equatorial passing, with whether it is passing or not. You have to know roughly where is this region, which state, which country. All these are of African, right? Lake Tanganyika, Tanganyika is in Africa. Lake Tonle Sap is in Cambodia. Lake Patos Lagoon is in South America. American, South American and African lakes. If you see Lake Tanganyika is in South Africa, southern part of equator, this is not. Lake Tonle Sap, Cambodia, which is northern part. So that also does not pass through equator. Patos Lagoon is in southern Brazil. That also will not pass through equator. Here, what is the answer? None. Mapping and none of the above has a special relationship with UPSC. If you see in the previous 3 to 4 years, most of the IR mapping, conflict mapping, geographical mapping, if none of the option is there, any 1 or 2 questions will have that option as right. This is my inference based on the last 5-6 years ka UPSC analysis. This is not a blind guess, but this is an inference made from last 3-4 years where none of the above option is repeating time and again. You need to have knowledge, you need to have idea where this Lake Tanganyika, if you know South Africa, South Africa is southern part of equator. It is not the answer. If you are seeing 1 or 2 is not coming across the equator, then you are seeing a pattern where UPSC is giving all the options as wrong. Then you can go with the none of the above. You are reading the examiner's mind. Here is trying to make all the options wrong. This you will be able to infer how? By analyzing UPSC. So here all are passing either north or south of equator. So answer is none of the above. I hope this is clear. 5th question in 2025. Again, mapping Africa, South America over Europe and regional mapping. These are the famous regions where some of the global conflicts or the historical conflicts happened. Battle of Normandy you know, okay, when Allied forces fought to liberate Germany, okay, Germany occupied France. So this is wrong. If you know history, if you have studied world history, you know Normandy is in, okay, France, where Germany occupied. Allied forces again fought in Battle of Normandy. You have seen movie also, right? Recently, with respect to Battle of Normandy, movie also had come. Okay, Mallorca is not Italy. Okay, Mallorca belongs to Spain. Yes, swapped it. Sardinia is not France. Sardinia is Italy. Italy, yes, swapped. So, if you know one is wrong, UPSC examiner see here what he is doing, is making sure all the three are mismatched. If none of the option is there, two questions are none of the above. Same pattern was seen in 24, same pattern was seen in 23. Okay, knowledge one side, understanding how examiner is setting the paper, setting the question and getting the answer right is a skill as well as art. So here none of the above. Mapping is important and knowledge is important, but application and art of getting answer also is important, my friends. 5 to 6 question in word mapping. Remember, very important, very crucial. In 25 alone, 5-6 question. In geography, out of 15-16 question, 5-6 came in word mapping and regional geographical mapping. 24, he has asked maritime border, okay, with respect to North Sea. How many of the countries, okay, are surrounding North Sea? Okay, geography, word geography mapping. Finland, Germany, Norway, Russia. If you know, some of the countries are North Sea countries and some are Baltic Sea, right? Baltic Sea in that region. Which are the Baltic Sea? Russia, Finland. If you remove those, other two countries, Germany and Norway, are the North Sea countries. So here, only two. Okay, very easy. You should have proper word mapping done, revised daily. Okay, bordered by Great Britain, Norway. North Sea is bordered by Great Britain, Norway, Denmark, Germany, Netherlands, Belgium and France. Okay, all these countries. But you should know which are the Baltic countries. Baltic Sea or Arctic Ocean, that is by Finland and Russia. Okay, Russian small region in that Baltic region have, okay, border with the Baltic Sea and the Arctic region or the Arctic Pacific Ocean there. So if you remove Finland and Russia, you will get the answer direct, straightforward. Next again, global border. The longest border between any two countries in the world is between which one? Okay, direct Canada and, sorry, Chile, Argentina, Kazakhstan and Russia, China and India, Canada and USA. Yes, Canada and USA. Why? You have bigger part of Alaska, right? Here, Alaska is there and this entire zone of Alaska, the border is there, as well as, okay, in the North America, between USA and Canada, this border is there and the side border is there with the Alaska. So, the biggest border in the world, okay, longest border between two countries in the world is Canada and USA. Okay, it's almost about 8,900 kilometers, 8,891 kilometers to be precise. And it is known as the longest border between any two countries in the world. Okay, asked in 24. 23 again, basin mapping. Congo Basin has which of the following countries? Cameroon, Nigeria, South Sudan, Uganda. Here if you know you can answer, otherwise blindly don't guess. Here it was Cameroon. You should know which of the following countries are belong to Congo Basin. It includes Cameroon, Central African Republic, DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo, okay, Equatorial Guinea and Gabon. Okay, mapping and favorite area of UPSC is Africa, okay, Europe. Africa, sometimes South America if there are resource, right? ABC resource, okay, for lithium and cobalt where it is there. Again DRC, cobalt. All this industrial rich, resource rich, okay, minerals rich, critical minerals rich geography also becomes important. So here answer was Cameroon. Ukraine war was in use in 23. So he asked the border of which of the following share a land border with Ukraine. So Bulgaria, Czech Republic, Hungary, Latvia, Lithuania, Romania. Here 6 years given, however it is not 4 years. Okay, not always that technique or trick will work. Here Only two. Which are the two? Only Hungary and Romania share a physical land border. Hungary and Romania share a physical land border with Ukraine. So, Ukraine's other neighbors include Russia, Belarus, Poland, Slovakia and Moldova. Okay, make a mnemonic for the important regions in news and border questions. One question will show up whenever there is a important regional fight, war or thing, okay, or any important dispute going on in the world. One, okay, border question will be showing up. Ukraine showed up, okay, Iran-Israel war, USA-Iran war, some of the important borders can show up in this year examination also. Except Hungary and Romania, Lithuania, Latvia, Czech Republic, Bulgaria do not share land border here. The answer is only two. And that year, with respect to Ukraine, question was expected because of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. 22. North Kivu Ituri, war between Armenia and Azerbaijan. You know Armenia, Azerbaijan, Nagorno-Karabakh region. You are see what examiner is doing and none of the above option is there. So he has swapped it. If this is okay, Nagorno-Karabakh he has put to Armenia, Azerbaijan, statement 1 also will be wrong. Okay, statement 2 also will be wrong. Nagorno-Karabakh is not in Mozambique because it is in Armenia, Azerbaijan. Okay, Kherson and Zaporizhia Kherson, Zaporizhia were nuclear of Ukraine. Okay, one of the nuclear plant of Ukraine was there. So Israel, Lebanon also is wrong. You are seeing how examiner is swapping and making sure that all the three statements are going wrong. So this trend we saw in 23, in 24, in 25 in two question when the disputes or conflicts, okay, or historical war region were asked, he made sure all these options are none of the above. Based on my knowledge of 23, I could get 24 right, 25 right because I did UPSC analysis PYQs ka. So here none of the. North Kivu is in DRC, Congo that is. Nagorno-Karabakh is in Armenia, Azerbaijan. Kherson, Zaporizhia is in Ukraine region where Russia occupied those regions. Now, African lake. Again, environmental mapping. That was in news. That African lake was in news because of some ecological or environmental disaster. Which of the following lake of West Africa has become a dry and turned into a desert? Okay, desertification of land, okay, drying up of important lakes also is a important theme. So that year 22 question had come. Lake Victoria, Lake Fagubin, Lake Oguta, Lake Volta. You know important lakes like Victoria, Volta, and while doing mapping you would have come across, and if any news was there definitely you would have heard. So you can eliminate if these options are not there. And because you would have heard if these options were in use because these are famous like Lake Volga, Lake Victoria. Now you will end up with Lake Oguta, Lake Fagubin. If you don't know also, you'll be ending up with 50-50. But if you have studied with current affairs, okay, logically you can eliminate these two statements because these are famous. You'll be doing mapping. Any place in news with respect to famous places will be always highlighted in media also, in newspaper also. You will end up with B and C here, okay. However, if you have knowledge, you know that Lake Fagubin was in news because almost from 1970s it was drying up, and in 2022 that lake was in news because of completely drying up and turning out to be like a desert condition. Okay, due to prolonged drought in the Sahel region, that African region is called Sahel region. Okay, know which are the countries that are coming in Africa in the Sahel region. The Levant region, again regional terminologies. The term Levant, often heard in the news, roughly corresponds to which of the following? Again current affairs linked to Eastern Mediterranean shores, North African shores, entire Mediterranean coastal area, Persian Gulf and Horn of Africa. The term Levant means the eastern breeze in the Mediterranean region. So where is the eastern breeze or the eastern Mediterranean shores? It is option A. It covers modern day Israel, Jordan, Lebanon, Palestine and Syria. Okay, the eastern Mediterranean shores of the Mediterranean region. So answer is option 1, option A here. Again, Afghanistan, 22 it was in news. Okay, border of Central Asia region because USA had vacated out of Afghanistan and it was very much in news. Taliban also had come to power. So he asked with respect to borders with Afghanistan. Okay, he has given 5. Normally 3 will be right. But here he has given options also. You know, Azerbaijan do not have direct connection because it is near Caspian. Then Kyrgyzstan you have Tajikistan, right, in between. So statement 1 and 2 are wrong. 3 right, 4 right, 5 right. If pair was there, if 5, 3 is a general list but need not be. In Ukraine war, you saw out of 6 only 2 were right. However, if it is 6, 4, if it is 5, 3 is the last option for you guys. So here Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan. Okay, 3, 4, 5. Do mapping, revise, okay, keep a mnemonic. After that, if questions are coming and if you have to answer that without having knowledge, then go with some logical things and then you end up with the guessing one. Major again, rivers and drainage. 2020 question has been asked. Mekong. Mekong, is it Andaman Sea? No. South China. Thames. Is it Irish Sea? River Thames, London, right? It is also not. Mekong flows to South China, Thames into North Sea. See, why options are important? The regions of North Sea was asked in later. In 2020, this was asked with respect to options. Thames, you know, North Sea. Now, the regions bordering North Sea was asked in 23 or 24. Volga, Caspian Sea. Is it correct? Yes, Volga is Caspian Sea. Zambezi is Indian Ocean. In Africa, it comes to eastern part of the African region, which is in Indian Ocean. So 3 and 4 is the correct answer. I hope this is clear. So make sure all these things you go through, analyze PYQs with yourself, analyze after 6 years, another 10-15 years, you can see so options also do show up in the next year's question, in 2026 question, and it might be helpful for you to get another 3-4 questions right, which will be a make or break in the prelims. I hope this session has been helpful. We'll come up with the next theme in the geography in the next class. Till then, revise well, study well, take care.